Welcome everybody, welcome to part 2. My guest is still Jason, and yeah, I hope part 1 was good, and let's go to get part 2. So, right now I want to talk about Bitcoin culture and music. A lot of Bitcoiners say they want Bitcoin to stay pure and away from mainstream culture. Do you think Bitcoin music and Bitcoin uh, rappers are helping or hurting this image?
I think it depends on what kind of mainstream culture we're talking about. There's so many subcultures today that can be very beneficial. And then there's a lot of mainstream cultures that I don't see to be that beneficial for Bitcoin, like BRC20 tokens and shitcoining. And sorry if I can't cuss on here, but, in general, gambling culture, Bitcoin is now being a Lightning network is now being added into Poly Market or whatever that thing's called. And it's being pushed out to the masses in different ways. I don't think gambling culture is good for Bitcoin. I don't think gambling is good in general. I think it's a very bad, addictive, very bad place to be if you're a gambler. So I don't like it one bit. But is that helping Bitcoin adoption? Maybe a little bit. Maybe someone does a few gambles and then they keep the Bitcoin and learn about Bitcoin through gambling. I know Drake is very big on Bitcoin. He's rapped about it in a few songs, and he gambles a lot on all these gambling markets where I believe you play with Bitcoin on all of them. I don't think there is one that you don't. I don't know that I've never done it, so I might not be the best person. But is that good for Bitcoin culture in the mainstream sense? I believe no. But someone else, like Poly Market's marketing team, they might say this is the best thing for it. Is Michael Saylor and Paper Bitcoin good for Bitcoin's culture, for Bitcoin adoption? Maybe, maybe not. I'm kind of in between at this point. I used to think very strongly, yes, it's very, very good. The more I'm going down that rabbit hole, the more I'm seeing the discrepancies in that and the holes that I can poke in that, because it takes away from the true Bitcoin culture, which is self-custody, which is running a node, which is living on a Bitcoin standard, which is creating a Bitcoin circular economy in your area, in your neighborhood, getting your friends and family to understand Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin in your business name, accepting Bitcoin for your business, and letting people know you accept Bitcoin in your business. That is much better for Bitcoin culture. So that mainstream Bitcoin culture I'm all about. The gambling side of it, the shitcoin side of it, and all the nonsense, I think that's horrible for mainstream. What is more mainstream at the moment? I would say gambling culture, which is bad for Bitcoin adoption. And what's not mainstream at the moment is Bitcoin hip hop. Bitcoin music in general is very, very small in the grand scheme of music. There's probably only one artist that's gotten a little bit of buzz, which is
You.
DJ
It's you.
Bubble.
It's you, no? It's you, no? It's you.
It's me a little bit.
It's you.
I've got some good songs. There's Fumi as well. Fumi's does interviews with Elon Musk. And yeah, a lot of artists, like I said, Drake talks about Bitcoin. Does he understand Bitcoin? I highly doubt it. I don't think he's a real Bitcoiner, but he knows a little bit about Bitcoin. He raps about it. He uses it to gamble.
I think.
So I think it's good if I'm rapping about Bitcoin and I'm getting people to run their own nodes, do self-custody, really understand what Bitcoin is, and say the things that are part of Bitcoin's core atmosphere. Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is not digital credit. If that's the message in the music, I think it's amazing, and I think that'll help Bitcoin adoption. If the message in the music is, paper Bitcoin, go gamble, and buy shitcoins, then I think it's you're ruining the message and the culture.
I think what I will be very skeptical. I never say this. Like, I think the hazard games and these games, like, I don't think it's good for Bitcoin. I don't think it's good for any, because it's like teaching young guys that they can gamble, and it's not good. And like, yes, you must say like it's like the most popular right now, but we need to look we need to look at it. Do you want to be most popular, or do you want to be most generous and help people? And I hope the Bitcoin is not going to be have name with the gambling in this, because if it does, what this going to create is create a lot of people, a lot of all generation my parents hate even more, and I don't want it. I don't want it. Be like, don't do Bitcoin because it's a gambling. No, Bitcoin is the future because it's not gambling. So
It's security.
I don't think what Drake is doing is good. I will be openly say this is not good for Bitcoin community.
I would say I would agree with you. Now, was there maybe one person that heard him rap? One of his lines is, it's a very average rap line, but he says, I look at this like it's BTC. Might be down this week, but I'm up next week. Very regular rap line. Very easy to understand. Is there one kid that read those lyrics and then saw BTC and said, what is that? And then, oh, it's Bitcoin. And then they went down the Bitcoin rabbit hole and started watching podcasts and stuff. That's possible. So if he brought someone in like that, I think it's good. That really became a Bitcoiner. But like you said, if it's gambling, if it's shitcoining,
Yeah,
I don't see that to be good.
no, absolutely not, absolutely not. And like, yeah. So next question: do you think the most Bitcoin music, including yours, is authentic, or is just a lot of it just the people trying to get attention and crowd in the space?
I think a lot of it is Bitcoiners that love music, that want to share their message from Bitcoin to the world through art. That's how I've noticed. A lot of guys that do Bitcoin music that I've come across in the space are doing AI stuff, AI music, and I don't think that's a problem. They have a message, they write lyrics, they give it to an AI program. I've never done AI music myself,
I
but
do.
they
I
give
have
it,
my
okay.
I am
Yeah,
music. I have my I am music. Yeah, I have.
sick. So yeah, like I said, I think it's cool. And what I find is it's a lot of times people that have a strong message that they want to share to the world from what they've learned, educated themselves on. They're very musical people. Bitcoiners are very artistic people. So I think it's a lot of people just expressing themselves in a musical way. That's what I've noticed. I haven't noticed too many clout chasing Bitcoin songs. Yeah, I haven't noticed too many personally.
Wow, really about that. Yeah, so why do you think there are not more serious, high quality artists making Bitcoin related music compared to other movements?
Okay, so when you say compared to other movements, do you mean like just to say something off the top, like a country music, maybe
Yeah,
into more Republican views,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they have a lot of Republican artists or whatever? I would say it's because most musicians, and I say this with a lot of respect for musicians as a musician myself, are fiat-minded because they don't have the time and the most musicians aren't the most financially savvy people in the world, I would have to say. The ones that I've come across, at least. Obviously, it depends on the artist, but I would say that a lot of musicians are fiat minded and they don't think about the world in terms of Bitcoin. So they've never gone down the rabbit hole or even scratched the surface of the rabbit hole. Most artists, just like most of the world hasn't. Now, the few artists that maybe have, whether it's some artists that we all like, but we don't know they're a Bitcoiner. Maybe there's a lot
Yeah,
that, yeah, maybe there's a lot. They just don't put it in their music. That's possible. I would say that maybe they're not putting it in their music because they don't want to lose fans and they don't want to confuse their fans and they don't want to put themselves in a different category because they're already making money with music and, they're already doing okay. So they're just going to stick to their same thing. And then a lot of people aren't very passionate like we are. We're kind of like the freak plebs who are extremely passionate about Bitcoin. We watch, every podcast we can. We read every book we can. We're always trying to learn more about Bitcoin. Like I said, do all the Bitcoin things, helping your friends figure out Bitcoin, running a node, creating a Bitcoin circular economy, trying to get your local businesses to adopt Bitcoin. All these things are like the extreme hardcore Bitcoiner.
yeah.
And maybe the average Bitcoiner, somebody that has a lot of money in Bitcoin, doesn't actually go that deep. So it's extremely rare for a good artist that we all know to be that obsessed with it. Maybe, I don't know.
I will pick a honest with you guys. I love people like Jason. I love people like Mexican magician. I love people like Great Runa.
Me too.
I love these people because from Mexican magician, clean hands. No, okay. I don't know his
Dirty
catchphrase.
money, clean
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Sorry.
Dirty
Yeah,
money,
it's
clean hands is the best. Is the best.
no, it's dirty. Yeah, it's dirty. Wait. It's
Sorry, Mexican. Sorry, Mexican. If you're watching this, we are sorry, bro. We are really sorry, bro.
it's
If you watch,
dirty. It's dirty hands, clean money.
yeah.
That's what
So
it is.
I love the hands clean money
Such a
message.
good message.
I love this.
Me too.
Yeah. And I was honored to have him on episode. It was like a really good episode, like really good. And we do in Patreon, but yeah, it was a really good episode.
That's a big inspiration to me. The Mexican magician's a great
Yeah, he's the
great
best.
representation of what Bitcoiners
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah. He is one of the really best people, and Runa too. I
Yeah,
think
100%.
these two, this is most beautiful and most genius people I ever met in my life.
Man, I love to hear that.
Yeah, I know we have
That's
some
dope.
things between us, between Runa and me, but I love him. I love this couple because it's like best couple.
Yeah.
Truly,
So sweet.
truly,
So sweet. Yeah, that's a great point, bro.
truly. And right now you are here, Jason. So that's best. That's like really good. And I think the Twitter is healing because of you guys. Because Twitter was not good place. Twitter was scammers or the 18 plus photos and this, but because of you and because Bitcoin army is like more like the respect people more this. And this is
The
the
real.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the real hardworking, the ones that aren't bullshitting. Yeah, I'm so sick of Bitcoin scams and scammers and shit coins, Ethereum, all these different coins, XRP, all these different scam companies, Caspa, all these companies that are just full of scammers. And, I really despise those kind of people. So I'm really happy to see, like you said, the hard workers representing, going to work, getting their hands dirty
Yeah.
and stacking Bitcoin, making a little more than you spend. Put the rest in savings, stick to the plan, show the world that we can get ahead working hard. And, we don't have to cheat anybody. We don't have to scam anybody. Bitcoin is not about that. It's about being honest. I wouldn't want to be in Bitcoin if it wasn't honest.
Yeah.
I'd rather be, in gold or something like that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't what
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, the real ethos of Bitcoin, the true cypherpunk mission and mentality to separate money from state.
So next question is, do you think Bitcoin culture can ever break into mainstream hip hop, or will always stay underground?
Will Bitcoin rap ever break into the mainstream?
Yeah.
I think it will when Bitcoin becomes mass adopted. I see probably at that point, every rapper will stop talking about they have dollars. They'll all be talking about they have Bitcoin. It'll be kind of lame to say, oh, I have $1 million in the bank. People will just say, I have one Bitcoin and it's worth $10 million. So people will, by that point, I don't know if that's 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
I will be old. I will be so old.
Exactly. We'll be old. We were there at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I'll come back out with. I'll rebrand all my music and say, you guys need to listen. I was the first one. But yeah, I think eventually every rapper will feel stupid to say they have dollars because they won't be worth anything. And we're in this very, very crazy place in the world right now where everybody's economy is crashing. America economy is doing so much worse than it was 10 years ago. The debt is getting out of control. Inflation is getting out of control. I could see an average salary in the next 2 to 3 years being $5 million a year. because it's going to be so bad. That's what I think. I think I can get so bad so fast where, money won't be worth anything. And they're doing the whole tax the rich thing now all over LA. Tax the rich, tax the rich. And people sign this petition to tax the rich. And I did a little research on it, and it's pretty much it will be anyone with $2 million has to fill out all these forms and do all this stuff to, prove that they are, basically giving the proper
Yeah.
amount of money to the government. But by that point, everyone will be a $2 million
Yeah, that's
heir.
true.
Everyone. So it's a scam because they have the inflation, they have the money printer, and then they tell you how much money is a lot of money. If it was true deflation, I would say, oh, this is great. No one will ever get to that money because everyone's going to get less and less, but it'll be worth more and more.
I think.
I don't care. I don't care about how much money I have. I just want the purchasing power to be good.
Yeah.
I could go back to $1,000 for my whole life. If that $1,000 buys me a house,
Yeah,
a
that's true.
car, I can take care of my
That's true.
family.
I think I don't like these, like the poor people to want to tax rich people. I don't like this
Me either.
because they doesn't help you.
Doesn't help
Doesn't
you.
absolutely help you. You're like, and it's like do something, do podcast or do something to get this, like not just like punish rich people.
Exactly.
Be their friends. Be their
When
them.
the government's printing all the money, they're the ones that are causing all the
Yeah.
problems, right?
Yeah.
It's not the hardworking people that are coming up with, great businesses that we all use, great technology that we all use. If the government took all the money, I've read, I believe it's all of the billionaires' money, every single billionaire, they took all their money, and every billionaire in the whole world went to zero, that would last the U.S. government 1 year. That's how much we
Yep.
spend every year. So it doesn't make any sense because it's
Doesn't make
really
any
no
sense.
money. And why punish the people that are benefiting the whole
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
instead of letting them have their time in the sun? The main problem is the money printer, and we got to get Bitcoin's got to become number one, because if it goes the same way it's been going, pretty soon you'll be bringing a wheelbarrow of money to the grocery store just to get
Yeah.
3 days worth of groceries.
And that is like so beep. I'm not going to swear. So beep.
Yeah,
And yeah.
such
And
bullshit. Yeah. It's so effed. Yep.
How do you view artists who suddenly start talking about Bitcoin only when the price is high? Do you see as genuine or
Yeah.
opportunistic?
That's a very good question. I would say I'll give you two answers.
Okay.
One is in the bull market. If I see somebody that I didn't see in the bear market pop up, whether it's a podcaster or a Twitter personality or a rapper or whatever, doing a song about Bitcoin in the bull market, I'm like, oh, these are top signals. I'm like, oh my God, like if we're in the bull market and Drake comes out with the whole Bitcoin song, I'm going to be like, oh my God, we're going to crash soon, probably, because this is like mass adoption, mass peak. Awareness, maybe. And I might say it's a little opportunistic, and obviously he's trying to capitalize on the buzz of Bitcoin at the moment. But during the bear market, it gets so bad, because if your net worth gets cut in half or more than cut in half within 6 months, it does something to you psychologically.
Yeah, that's true.
It does something less the first time. I mean, the second time. The first time it hits a little harder, right? You're like, oh my God, because let's face it, we're coming to Bitcoin to help our families to see number go up. But the main purpose is so we can help our families, so we can, do the things we've wanted to do that we didn't have the money to do, whether that's buy a car, house, whatever it is. So when you're in the bull market, you start getting those visions of, oh my God, I can move to a farm and I could get away and this is so great, And then the bear market hits and it's like, ooh, it hurts. it used to hurt more in the sense of like I would think about the number in my head and I'd be like, oh man, it's halfway down. Like I'm so
Yeah.
stupid. I should have sold. I could have bought double now. Like why didn't I do that? And I'd really beat myself up about, why didn't I sell at 60,000 and buy back at 16,000? I would have been a genius if I did that. But I held all the way down. I didn't do anything. And then I kept buying, of course. I kept my DCA going and, trying my best to stay active. But when it's going down, it's just a lot harder than it is when it's going up. When Bitcoin's 100,000, you have no problem throwing your whole paycheck at it with a smile. When it's at 60,000, you're like, maybe I should put half in and then wait for the next half because it could go down to 40 or, who knows. So bear markets do kick your butt. And I think it kicks your creative butt too, because when we're in the bull market, your energy's high, you feel in the winds, you want to make music, you want to create, you want to do raps about Bitcoin, you want to tell everyone about it. When it's in the bear market, you're like, oh man, like now, like I want to make music, but like I'm also thinking about like, I could have been on vacation right now if I just took more. I took 0.1 out. If I just sold 0.1 at, the all-time high, I could have taken it for I could have taken X amount of months off work or whatever the case may be. So it hits your head and it's hard to deal with. Hodling is hard. That's why it is that's why it's called hodling. It's called hold on for dear life, not, relax and wait till, we're back at $1 million.
In the trenches. In the
Exactly.
trenches, yeah.
Exactly.
So, and like, I don't think Bitcoin is supposed to be about money. I think Bitcoin creates so much friendships, so much people, so everything. So it's not about money anymore. It's about people you met, people who can help you, people who is there with you. I think Bitcoin is starting to be friendships too.
I believe that. I like that. I really do like that. I think that's an amazing way to think about it and look at it. And it's creating community. It's about creating bonds and building the Bitcoin circular economy. I think Bitcoin at $20,000, and let's say it sits there for the next 20 years, it still has such a valuable purpose, for fighting against tyrannical governments, for putting your money is your vote, taking your money out of the system and putting it in Bitcoin. So it isn't about number go up. Once the deeper you get into it and the more you realize it's about using it, it's about spending in Bitcoin, it's about charging in Bitcoin, it's about saving in Bitcoin, it's about educating.
And finally, people are united. It's not only for football, it's not only for World Cup. I think World Cup is a big thing, but it's for this too, and this is the blessing. And we are gonna talk about this in our third part, because the two part we're gonna end it, and I see you guys in the third part. Bye.
Peace.